the second type of classification, that is the types of triangles based on angles. Based on angles. So in a triangle, there are three interior angles. So based on the types of interior angles, we classified these into three types. The first one is acute angled triangle. And the second type is obtuse angled triangle. And third type is right angled triangle. Now we will discuss one by one in detail. Okay, the first type is acute angled triangle. What is an acute angle triangle? See, this is a triangle. So, what is acute angle triangle? A triangle in which all the three angles are acute angles. Then we call it as an acute angle triangle. So, what is that? In a triangle, there are three angles are there, in which all the three angles must be acute angles. Then we consider it as an acute angle triangle. See, 50 degrees, 60 degrees, 70 degrees. Okay. So this is an acute angle triangle because each measures an acute angle only. See the other case, that is this is 80, 50 degrees, 50 degrees. So this is one more triangle which is acute angle triangle, and 60 degrees, 60 degrees, 60 degrees. You see, this is also an acute angle triangle. See, in this, all the three angles are different. So, we can easily say the sides are also different. In this, two angles are equal. So, the sides opposite to the equal angles are equal. So, this is different. And in this, all the three angles are equal. So, all the sides are also equal. So, by these three different types of acute angle triangles, we can conclude some properties of acute angle triangles. What are the properties of acute angle triangle? We'll see one by one. So, the first property is, in the acute angle triangle, what about the exterior angles of an acute angle triangle? Interior angles are always acute. But we know the property that interior angle and exterior angle, they are supplementary to each other at each vertex. That is why, as this is an acute angle, the exterior angle must be obtuse angle. That is why in the acute angle triangle, all the exterior angles are obtuse angles. Yes, all exterior angles are obtuse angles. So, all the acute angle triangles, see, there is a chance of having a scalene triangle with acute angles. Yes, there is a chance of having isosceles triangle. So there is a chance of having equilateral triangle. See, all the three angles are equal, so all the three sides are equal. It is equilateral triangle, right? So two sides are equal, one is different, so it is an isosceles triangle. In this, all the three angles are different, so all the three sides are also different. Scalene triangle means acute angle triangle can be anything, whether it can be scalene triangle, it can be isosceles triangle, it can be equilateral triangle. So an acute angle triangle is scalene triangle or isosceles or equilateral. Yes, this can be any acute angle triangle, can be any type of triangle which may be scalene triangle, which may be isosceles triangle, which may be equilateral triangle. So you tell me whether all scalene triangles are acute angle triangles? No, no, right? See, you take one triangle which is scalene triangle in which all the three sides are different. See, the angles may be anything, right? If it is, if a scalene triangle is always acute angle triangle, the three angles must be acute angles only. But there is a chance of having, see, if it is 90 degrees and this is 45 degrees, 55 degrees and this is 35 degrees. Isn't it a scalene triangle? Yes, it is. See, one of the angle is 90 degrees, one of the angle is 55 degrees and the other is 35 degrees. All the angles are different, so all the sides are also different. It is a scalene triangle. But it is not an acute angle triangle because one of the angle measures 90 degrees. So, in the acute angle triangle, all the angles must be acute angles, which is nothing but it is between 0 to 90 degrees, not exactly equal to 90 degrees. It must be between the range 0 and 90 degrees. So that is why all the scalene triangles need not be acute angle triangles. So the next property is all scalene triangles need not be acute angle triangles. Acute angle triangles. What about whether all the isosceles triangles are acute angle triangles only? See, this is a triangle. Here, these two angles are equal. Okay, these are, I am considering 45, 45 and this is 90. Is this is these two sides are equal because all these two angles are equal, the sides opposite to angles are also equal. Okay, this is different. This is an isosceles triangle. Whether it is an acute angle triangle or not? No, it is not an acute angle triangle because one of the angle measures 90 degrees. So that is why all the isosceles triangles need not be acute angle triangle. So, what about the third case? See, in the you consider an equilateral triangle in which all the three interior angles measures an acute angles only always, right? Always it measures 60 degrees. In order to be equal in all the three angles, there should be a value of 60 degrees of each angle. So which is always an acute angle. That is why every equilateral triangle is an acute angle triangle. So the next one is all equilateral triangles. All equilateral triangles or acute angle triangle. Acute angle triangle. So this is what about an acute angle triangle. Okay. So we'll see the next type, that is obtuse angle triangle. The second type is obtuse angle triangle. What is an obtuse angle triangle? A triangle in which one of the interior angle is obtuse, then we call it as an obtuse angle triangle. See, there is maximum only one obtuse angle is possible, right? There are no possibilities of having more than one obtuse angles. That is why, so in the definition itself, we are saying if one of the interior angles among the three angles, one angle must be obtuse angle, then we call it as an obtuse angle triangle. So you check these figures. See, so this is 120 degrees and other two angles are 20 degrees and 40 degrees. Okay, this is one of obtuse angle triangle. And other type is 100 degrees, 40 degrees, 40 degrees. So this is one obtuse angle triangle. See, in this all the three angles are different. So obviously all the three sides are also different. In this, two angles are equal. So the sides opposite to equal angles are equal and this is different. So this is represents a scalene triangle. This represents an isosceles triangle. Now we'll see the properties of obtuse angle triangle. See, in the obtuse angle, one angle always measures obtuse angle. What about the exterior angle at this vertex? The exterior angle must be acute angle, right? So these at the vertex of obtuse angle, we have an exterior angle which is always acute. Means what about the other two angles? Other two exterior angles are always obtuse because the interior angles are always acute. So the two exterior angles, exterior angles two exterior angles are always obtuse. Always obtuse. See, these two are acute angles. So the exterior angle at this vertex always obtuse only. Okay. So the next property. So obtuse angle triangle can be either scalene triangle or isosceles triangle. So only two possibilities are there. There is no possibility of getting equilateral triangle because in the equilateral triangle each angle measures 60 degrees, which is always acute. That is why an obtuse angle triangle can be obtuse angled triangle can be either scalene or isosceles. Isosceles triangle. And see the other property. The next property is whether all the scalene triangles are obtuse angle triangle. Just in the previous case, we have seen there is a chance of having all the three acute angles also in case of scalene triangle. See 50 degrees, 60 degrees, 70 degrees. All the three are acute angles. But the triangle is scalene triangle. So that is why all the scalene triangles need not be obtuse angled. So all the scalene triangles need not be obtuse angle triangles. Yes. What about whether all isosceles triangles are obtuse angle triangles? No, right? So in the previous case, we have seen that type also. So we have 90 degrees, sorry, 80 degrees and two other different equal angles. So that is means we can have three acute angles also. It can represent an isosceles triangle. That is why always isosceles triangles need not be obtuse angle triangle. All isosceles triangles need not be obtuse angle triangle. The third type is right angle triangle. So what is a right angle triangle is? A triangle in which one of the angle measures exactly 90 degrees. Then we call that triangle as a right angle triangle. See, this is a triangle. This angle measures exactly 90 degrees and other two angles can be 55 degrees and 35 degrees. Yes, this is one possibility. And other is this is 90 degrees, 45 and 45. This is one more triangle. This is triangle ABC and this is the triangle PQR. Yes. So these two are right angle triangle because in this one of the angle measures exactly 90 degrees. So what are the properties of right angle triangle? See, in this the two angles are equal. So the sides opposite to them are also equal. In this all three are different. So the sides are also measures different lengths. That is why this represents a scalene triangle. This represents an isosceles triangle. So this is particularly we call it as right angle isosceles triangle. So this is right angled isosceles triangle. Other than this 90 degrees. So in the right angle triangle, the angles other than 90 degrees are always acute angles and complementary to each other. See these two angles, these are acute angles are always. See 45, 45, 35, 55. Yes, those are acute angles and always complementary to each other. Means sum of them must be equal to 90 degrees. Check whether 45 plus 45 equal to 90 degrees? Yes. 35 plus 55 equals to 90 degrees? Yes. So that is the property, that is the angles other than 90 degrees are always acute and complementary to each other. Whether all the scalene triangles are right angle triangle? No, right? Whether all the isosceles triangles are right angle triangles? No, right? So, here also we can say right angle triangle can be right angled triangle can be either a scalene triangle or an isosceles triangle. Yes, but all but every scalene triangle need not be right angle triangle. Right angle triangle. Similarly, every isosceles triangle need not be right angle triangle. So in this, the side which is exactly opposite to 90 degrees, we call it as an hypotenuse. So means largest side in the triangle, we call it as an hypotenuse, and this hypotenuse is always exactly opposite to angle 90 degrees. So what is the relation? So always hypotenuse square, which is equal to side 1 square plus side 2 square. So you can, if this is the side 1 and this is the side 2 and this is the hypotenuse, so we have a relation in the right angle triangle, that is hypotenuse square is equal to side 1 square plus side 2 square. This we call it as a Pythagoras theorem. In the Pythagorean triplets, so the relation is always hypotenuse square is equal to side 1 square plus side 2 square. Right angle isosceles triangle is a case which is comes under the right angle triangle. Yes, this is, we call it as a right angle isosceles theorem. Means it must be right angle triangle as well as isosceles triangle. So we call this as a right angled isosceles triangle. So that is a case under the right angle triangle. Now we'll see what are the different properties of right angled isosceles triangle. So this is a right angled isosceles triangle. Right angle isosceles triangle. Okay. So in which the angles other than 90 degrees are always equal. So that we call it as a right angled isosceles triangle. See, in this the angles ratio. See, what are the angles? 45 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees. So the ratio of angles in the right angled isosceles triangle is 1 is to 1 is to 2. This is the angles ratio. Angles ratio in right angled isosceles triangle. What are the sides ratio in right angled isosceles triangle is? Sides are always in the form of, sides are always x comma x comma x root 2 form. So always the sides are in this way only. In the right angle isosceles triangle, sides are always x comma x comma x root 2. So what is the ratio of the sides? x is to x root 2, which is equal to 1 is to 1 is to root 2. This is the ratio of the sides in the right angled isosceles triangle. And what about the exterior angles of a right angled isosceles triangle? So see, the exterior angle is here 135 degrees. This exterior angle is also 135 degrees. And this exterior angle is 90 degrees. See, one of the exterior angle is 90 degrees. Other two exterior angles are 135, 135. See, so exterior angles ratio is, exterior angles are, what are those? 135 degrees, 135 degrees, 90 degrees. These are the exterior angles. What is the ratio of these? 135 is to 135 is to 90 degrees, which is equal to 3 is to 3 is to 2. So this is the exterior angles ratio. So this is what a types of triangles based on the angles. Thank you.